Hi guys and welcome to my channel. You're watching a Zwift race, the 3-hour volcano circuit flat race. This is an 8-lap race, about 35.6 kilometers, about 160 meters of elevation gain over the 36 odd kilometers. So essentially a really flat race. There are 4 categories into this race. There's A, B, C and D. The A category are the strongest guys, the guys above 4 watts per kilo for 60 minutes. I'm racing today in the B category, that's 3.2 to 3.9 watts per kilo for 60 minutes. So essentially, the power you can put out in watts for 60 minutes divided by your weight in kilos. So I'm roughly, I think I should be around 3.94 kilos, 4 watts per kilo. So I think I'm bordering that thing right now, and I'm going to be racing in the B category. Then there is the C, which is 2.5 to 3.2 watts per kilo, and then there's the D. So the B category, as you can see, is what I'm racing in. It's a 36-kilometer race, like I mentioned, where 4 minutes to start. If you guys know anything about the Zwift race, you guys know that it starts mental. It's absolutely brutal in the beginning. It's crazy. Everybody starts full gas. If you're going to be able to hang on for the first few minutes, then you should be able to hang on for the entire race. At least that's what I've got in mind. I'm going to do my best to hang on. I'm also trying to go I'm also going to try to be a little conservative. I'm going to take care of the efforts I'm putting in. I'm not sure if this course suits me a lot because I'd prefer a few hills here and there just to make sure that I'm able to drop the heavier riders, or at least can stay on with the more powerful ones. But nevertheless, this is 160 meters of elevation gain over the 36 odd kilometers. As you can see on my screen, if you're not familiar with Zwift, all of you guys, on the left top, you can see the power, the cadence, and the heart rate I'm going to be putting out. On the right, you will see the list of riders. Right now, you can see a chat function. That's because the race hasn't begun. But you will see a sort of list of riders over there. On the top, in the center, you will see the lap we're in. You will see how many kilometers we finished, what speed we're at, and how many kilometers to go. On the bottom left, you can see a cam footage from the laptop. That's me on the bike. A little bit about my setup. I'm on the Ridley Noah, the same bike I use outdoors. I'm wearing my team kit just to look a little fancy for some jersey doping, if I may. There's a cap just to take care of the sweat. There are 2 bottles of water with me. There's also a napkin just to catch hold of all of the sweat. There's a fan and the AC is on, so I'm ready to go. I've done, I think, about 5 Zwift races so far, but I've only managed to finish one. I finished one just last week. It was super brutal, 53 odd minutes long. Managed to get 5th or 6th position in the B category race, so that was pretty fulfilling. So my hopes are up. Let's see how this goes. I wanted to do a live stream for this one, but unfortunately the internet wasn't so great, so I've just recorded it and I'm doing a little bit of commentating on top of it just to give you guys a little bit of context. So let me know if you've got any feedback, any comments. Just put your comments down below in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content that I'm putting out, then please subscribe to the channel. My initial plan this year was to do as many outdoor races as possible and shoot the GoPro content, put out some interesting stuff for you guys to watch, but unfortunately that's not happening thanks to the lockdown and the COVID-19 situation. So I'm stuck indoors. I'm not so unhappy about it. I'm trying to make the most of it. I heard Zwift racing is a good way to keep fit and really give it a go. So here I am. I'm going to give it a go. A quick detail about the trainer I'm on. I'm on the Tax Neo. I'm not using the power cable. As a result of not using the power cable, what happens is that when the downhill sections happen, it doesn't simulate the downhill. So I'm essentially at almost like 0% gradient. So I wish I had that, because it would have given me an advantage and a little bit of a breather that I would have loved. But nevertheless, that's not there. But no complaints. I'm going to give it everything I've got. And we're about 22 seconds to go now. If you know anything about Zwift, the start is absolutely brutal, so it's going to be really mental, and just watch out for the numbers. It's okay. I'm changing now into the big ring, and I'm going to wind things up, start to put out a lot of power. As you can see, I'm already beginning to ramp up. 3 seconds to go. 2, one, and boom, and this is where everybody's going to go balls out just to see. And like I said, I'm racing in the B category, but this is where all the categories start. So on the right you will see the list here. You will see whether you're A, B, C or D. So everybody, that's the list. So right now, as you can see, I'm what, 49th out of 300 and whatever number of races. It's a 36-kilometer race. We're already doing 54 kilometers an hour, putting out over 300 watts, as you can see. At my level, that's not a low wattage. Here you can see I'm trying to dig deep and really get hold of that bunch. So what's happened is the guys at the front are really hammering it, and and the point is, excuse me, the point is to put out as much power as possible to hang on to those guys, because on Zwift, like in the outdoor world, you get a pretty good draft, and if you don't put the power down, then you're going to lose out on their wheels, and you might be stuck. So I had to dig deep at that moment. Again, I had to dig deep, but look at the numbers I'm putting out right now. 398 watts. That's not less. But like, I'm moving up. I'm feeling that draft. I'm doing a decent wattage, but I'm also moving up. I'm up to 14th or 12th or something out of the 300 odd races. So it's a good start. I am struggling, as you can see. My heart rate is at 178 beats per minute. It is high. Having a decent cadence, but all the way above 300, above 350 watts over here. Super tough. As you can see, the road's going up a little, 1%, 0, minus. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to give you a rundown of the course here, but I'm going to walk you through the course as it happens. Again, quick recap: if you're new to Zwift, on the right you will see the number of racers, the name of racers, and the category they're in. You can see A, B, C, or D. On the top right, you'll be able to see the map. You're also going to be able to see what's the current gradient we're riding at, and because the trainer is on the sim mode, it's simulating exactly those gradients on the trainer. I'm riding a Tax Neo. On the left side of the screen, the bottom left, you can see me real time riding pretty hard, above 340 odd watts right now, 96 cadence and 152 beats per minute. I think there's something wrong with my Wahoo ticker heart rate belt, because I'm definitely doing more than 152 watts over here, more than 142 beats per minute. So you can see it's dropped down suddenly from 152 to 129. There's a little bit of a malfunction there. I'm going to be sure to use another heart rate belt, because this one's Bluetooth and ANT plus, and that creates a bit of confusion. As you can see, minus 3% now. There's a run in to a nice little ramp that's come up. 4% now. I'm really going to have to put down a good number of watts here. Still at a decent position. Lap number 1, 24th. So I'm riding with some really strong guys who are capable of doing upwards of 4 watts per kilo for an hour. So I'm really digging deep, or really trying to be in their wheels and be at a good position. Excuse me. So this is where things will again ramp up a little, 6%, quick little kick over here, then again it flattens out for a bit. And all of these ramps, what they do is that they're not really long. So they're not as if it's going to go, the kick is going to go long for 1 minute or 2 minutes. These are a few seconds only. But what that does is that if you're a heavier rider, then it sort of saps you of the kicks you can have. It saps you of your energy over the period of the race. It's going to hurt you. But what it does for the lighter riders is, while it's easier for them to go over these ramps, it's also not very advantageous if you're really light, because you're not going to be able to put out the absolute power, right? So that's something to keep in mind. So this one's a course, I would imagine, that suits somebody who's got more absolute power but is not overly heavy. So somebody who's good at rolling terrain is going to be able to do really good over here. So 3.2 kilometers into the race, about 4 minutes in, again, like you can see from the left top, upwards of 300 watts just to hang on to this front group. So that's how good these guys are. I'm riding in a draft at about 42nd position, but still having to do upwards of 300 watts all the time just to be able to hang on with them. 36-kilometer race, you can see that there's 31 kilometers to go, 31.9 kilometers to go to be precise. It's only the first lap of the 8-lap race. I am at about 17th position now, really digging deep. Trying to conserve a little bit as well, because I'm trying to be smart about being in the draft. I'm trying to be smart about the power that I'm putting out. But I'm struggling, and the 86 beats per minute that you see on the top left, that's not accurate for sure. If you can see me in the camera, I'm definitely struggling. I'm doing 100 revs per minute in the cadence, and I'm definitely above 175 beats per minute. I think what I can do max it is about 190, 192 beats per minute. But here you can see the road goes up a little at about 4.3 kilometers. We are at a 5% gradient now, and this is where things start to break up, right? The really strong riders are putting upwards of 5 watts per kilo. I'm doing just a little bit above 4. I did a little bit above 5 as well for a bit, but this is where it's tough. So this is probably where the first, let's say, gaps start to open up. The really strong riders have started to open up. So I have two options right now. I can dig deep. This is a false. Well, how much more can I dig deep, right? I'm doing 5.5 watts per kilo. After that nasty little kick, I can either dig deep right now and cover this gap that has just formed and get onto that draft, or I have the option of sort of slowing things down and getting into the second batch. So here's when I think I run out of gas and I try to sort of use this downhill section. I'm not covering that. So there's a guy who comes up in front of me. I'm hoping for him to pull, but no, he's too fast for me to latch on, and I'm unfortunately I have lost. This is what happens. I have lost the first group. Largely, the first group is going to comprise of people from the A category, so I'm not so disappointed about it. There might be a few fast B starters as well, but what usually happens in these races is that people drop off after a few minutes of riding that hard. So it's going to be A category chaps in the front, B behind. As you can see, there's in the B category, there's the guy ahead of us. There's this guy, a few guys. Basically just the two of us here, and then 24 seconds back there's a big group. You can see a few guys there. So I'm trying to now maintain steady power, because at the same time I'm also recovering from trying to ride hard for those many minutes with the A category guys. But I'm clearly, so those guys have vanished. They're at least 13 or 14 seconds ahead, and I'm trying to work with this guy wearing the Wahoo kit, this Thai chap, uh, to stay clear of the batch that is 11 seconds behind us, and try to bridge up to the 14. I don't think we're going to be able to bridge up to the A category boys. That one's going to be really difficult. In some time, you will see that there will be a big bunch who will sort of come up to us, and we're going to have to dig deep to get on their wheels as well. Excuse me. So yeah, it's 6.2 kilometers into the race. We've got about 29.3 kilometers to go. We're still on the first lap. We're 8 minutes into the race. It's been really hard. I'm getting in a little bit of recovery here, trying to work with the guys, because the guys behind us are about 12 or 13 seconds behind. There's going to be a big bunch. We've already lost the front train, so we've lost them. They're definitely way too fast and way too strong for us. So we're just going to have to wait, or control our efforts to work with these guys, and let's see how that works out. So we're trying to keep rolling along, keep working. I think everybody's trying to work here. But if you can see on the right side, we're seeing that the gap's closing. So there's a big bunch coming from behind, which will potentially help us in conserving our energy, and even you know increasing our speed. 5 seconds to go, so they're 5 seconds behind us. Trying to just modulate the effort over here. We're into lap number 2 of the 8 laps. You will see them very very shortly. They will be swarming us. They will be going around us, and that's when you'll have to again dig deep in order to get on their wheels. As you can see from my cam footage, I am by no ways riding easy by my standards and by the effort that we've put in the first few minutes. I'm going to have to really limit my losses, and try to hang in there into this race. But it's a lot of fun, I can tell you that. It's a lot of fun. Again, there you go, there's the bunch, they've just caught up to us, and you can see me, I'm doing 5.7, 5.4, 5 watts per kilo. I'm just, that's the kind of wattage I'm going to have to do in order to get on those wheels. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you will miss this bunch as well, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to miss this bunch. I had to get onto this sort of sizable bunch, as you can see, right? It's a sizable bunch. I had to do this effort to stay with this bunch, which is basically bunch number 2. There is the bunch number 1 of the really strong riders, and there's this bunch number 2. Even in this bunch, as you can see from the right, it's not only B category guys. There are a lot of guys who are in the A category. Like I said, A category is someone who can hold upwards of 4 watts per kilo for 60 minutes. So these are guys who are really fast, and even they miss the bus. So I'm thinking that, maybe the race started really hot, like every Zwift race, and maybe I can now sit on, things will cool down, and I should be able to uh, stay on with this batch. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay near the front of the race. I'm trying to conserve the power I'm putting out. There's going to be a nasty little kick over here, as you can see, 7%, going up to 7%. We will turn left very soon. This is the kick that comes in every lap. This is where I believe, because it's not very long, I believe somebody who's got more absolute power can kick better, sustain this for a few seconds, and still have the benefit of the absolute power, right? Because it's not so steep, because it's not so long, it's not necessarily about just watts per kilo. It's also about the kind of power, absolute power you can put out. But nevertheless, I'm still, like I said, towards the front of the bunch. I'm losing position pretty fast, but I'm trying to stay on this. We're 11 minutes 35 seconds into the race, about 9 kilometers in, 26.7 kilometers to go. And this is the second lap. So I've had a really hot start. We've tried to dig as deep as possible, and basically got completely spat out of the first group. They're really super strong guys. Got into sort of no man's land with a couple of other riders, and then this happened. This bunch coming from behind swarmed us, and had to dig really deep to get on to the wheels for this bunch, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, what am I thinking? I'm thinking that there are 6 laps remaining. There's one nasty little kicker every single lap, so there are 6 nasty kickers remaining, and those are the kickers I'm going to have to survive somehow, and try to sort of modulate my power. As you can see, somehow the heart rate belt has started working again. I'm doing 178 beats per minute by what it reads, and going by my memory and what I felt, for sure 178 sounds about right. So it went down to something below 100. That was definitely wrong, and yeah, so I'm just trying to stay in the draft right now of the second bunch. You will see that a few guys who were in the B category, who had managed to sort of dig deep and go up ahead with the first bunch, they're dropping out, because that's how hot the pace was over there. Even now you can see the things, the bunch starting to string up. Everybody's doing decent power over here. I'm putting out okay power, trying to rest as well. Again, a quick 4% kick. Yeah, this one's hectic. This one was really hectic. Excuse me. And as you can see, we're 10.5 kilometers, about 14 minutes into the race. Pretty hot race, about 36 kilometers long. I am maintaining a steady cadence, about 178 beats per minute heart rate, trying to limit my losses, stay in the draft. This is also another kick that comes every lap. I think this goes under the finish banner. I think that's where the clock ticks as far as the laps are concerned. So this is, it has a little bit of a kick, and then it flattens out. So this one's a very interesting course. This is the first time I'm doing this course, so I don't know much about this course, but after doing a few laps just now during the race, I've understood. So as you can see, we've just finished the second lap. We're into the third lap, almost 15 minutes into the race of this 36 kilometer long race. It's going to go downhill just a little bit. I haven't connected my power cord for the trainer, so I'm not getting those 5, 10, whatever seconds of respite. I wish I had that. Again, as you can see, the cracks are starting to form. I'm going to need to I'm going to have to close this gap. Luckily, the guy behind me closes the gap. I get onto his draft and I'm able to get back into the bunch. So that's some things that you can keep in mind. Thank you for that, whoever that was. Um, we're we're going we're still going pretty hard. Now again, my I'm going to look to be somewhere in the middle of this branch to get as much of the draft as possible, and let's see how that goes. So here we are, quickly just fast forwarding that lap. We're just going around with the finish banner. We're on the fourth lap now, about 19 minutes 45 seconds into the race. We've completed 15.2 kilometers, just about 20 kilometers to go. I am really struggling. You can see my heart rate is about 179 beats per minute. I've been putting out decent power by my standards. I'm not necessarily having the best day for whatever reasons, but I'm trying to stay towards the front of the group. So my goal on this particular lap is to keep in mind that ticker. I'm going to try and stay towards the front of the group, try to dig deep on the on the climbs. I'm also thinking that some of the guys are going to be tired, they might drop out, and if I start towards the end of the bunch, if I start the climb towards the end of the bunch, it's not going to do me any good. So the road's going down a little bit. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm not able to get that simulation and get that 5 7 seconds of respite. I'm just modulating my gears and getting that kind of respite. But nevertheless, so it's going to be flat, and there's going to be that nasty little kicker that goes up to 8%. So I'm putting out decent power now, only to stay towards the front of this bunch. I want to start that kicker as far in front as possible in a good position. So even if I put out less power in the climb, I'm going to be able to stick with the bunch. So that's what I've got in mind, and I'm really at this stage, I'm playing it smart. I'm actually modulating my power, and I think I'm doing a good job. And by no means am I done. I'm thinking that I can do this. I am tiring, but there are other people who are tiring as well. So I'm still sort of having my hopes up. As you can see, now that little right hander will start the kick, and things. I'm still in the front of the grid. So this is exactly what I wanted. I am putting out over 350 watts right now, about 5.7 watts per kilo right now, and here there are a few strong guys who are digging really deep, upwards of 6.5 watts per kilo, and they're going up. I'm at a decent position, so I am really in the front of this bunch, and this is when something really happens. I completely lose gas. You can see me in the camera. I'm losing gas, and I'm just suddenly stop, and I just can't do it. And this is something. It's really embarrassing. I had to stop. But this is super painful. This is a video that was super painful to shoot and put out and commentate about. But man, I was out of gas, completely out of gas, and I'm just really struggling. Hopefully, my next Zwift race, whenever that is going to be better than this, and I won't have to put out this embarrassing video again. And nevertheless, it was a good ride, a hard ride, and I think I had it in me to sort of finish this in a respectable position, but was meant to be. Ha. So you guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, this embarrassing video for myself. So if you did, give me a thumbs up. If you have any words of encouragement, put it down in the comment section. If you have any feedback, if you want me doing different things, putting my content out differently, give me your comments, give me a shout. And thanks for watching if you did. Thank you.